How about a little beef and mushroom ragout? And it's so simple to do. You're not going to mess up a lot of pots. We're going to cook it in a crock pot. The onions and the garlic, and if I had another tomato I would have put it in there, but that's okay. The onions and the garlic and the tomato are there. The beef, why flat iron? Because after it's cooked, it's not like that beef stew meat you buy in the supermarket or the bottom round after you chew it for 10 seconds in your mouth. All the sauce is gone and you have a mouthful of dry meat. Not with this. And what's a little better than this, if you can afford it, is of course short ribs of beef. Anyway, very close to short ribs of beef. The broiler's been on. You're going to cut all the beef up in 2-ounce pieces. We're going to put this under the broiler, color the meat. Meanwhile, the onions will get a little cooking, so we're not just throwing them into the crock pot raw. And that's it. No liquid, just this, the mushrooms, which I washed already, right here, and you're not going to cut them up. They're going to shrink up. Everything will be beautiful when it's done. That's it. I'll put the rest of the meat on there. I'll put it under the broiler and brown it like I said. We don't have to season it now. This is going to be cooking for at least 4 hours in the crock pot, which is already on, so it's hot by the time we put this in there. I put the rack all the way up. The broiler's been on. And if anybody out there thinks it's too high, that I should season the beef, logically explain it to me. That was pretty good. In you go. That's 8 to 9 minutes, depending on the heat of your broiler. I'm going to turn the pieces over and put them back in there for another 8, 9, or 10 minutes. Now, if you notice how that meat has shrunk already, and that's only like coloring one side. That's why you need a ½ pound per person. So this recipe is for 6 to 7 people. You know, it's one thing when you get a 12-ounce steak that you're going to eat rare, you don't have the shrinkage. This is not steak. This is going to be cooked for a long time and shrink quite a bit. That should do it. That's about 9 minutes. Look how nice and brown that is. And nothing stuck to the pan. So we pour it right into the crock pot. That was 10 minutes. And then I'm going to throw the mushrooms in there. So not that I care about making the mushrooms brown, but I want everything hot to go into there. It'll just quicken the cooking. And the mushrooms, I'll give about, I'm guessing about 6 minutes, just to heat them up. Well, that's it for the mushrooms. It's good using these button mushrooms. Flavor, and they give off a lot of juice. No stock needs to be added to this. I'm going to put the mushrooms in there, close it up, come back in 4 hours and see how things are. Well, you see everything in the crock pot. There goes the lid. It's already working. And the best part about this is, look at that pan. Throw away the aluminum foil, nothing to clean. And you know how simple it is to clean a crock pot. I just tasted the stock. It's not quite ready yet, but it has such a pleasant flavor that I can't put any herbs in there. I changed my mind about the basil. I'm putting salt and pepper right now. And then I'm going to taste it. And I'm pretty sure that this is really nice. The color is great. And I'm going to thicken this up at the very end with a little cornstarch and water so it has body. I don't want it watery. But the flavor, the meat, the mushrooms, the onions, and the garlic alone, especially the mushrooms, that is so nice. But if you insist upon putting herbs, you can. But first, you must taste it, and you'll see. It's been 3.5 hours, and I just checked a piece of meat, and it's done. So I'm going to take the 1 tablespoon of cornstarch with 1 tablespoon of water and just work it smooth, and I'll drizzle that in to give this some body because I don't want it watery. Now, as I said, I'm not putting any herbs in there, but you can. But I'm loving the taste of just the mushrooms and the beef. And if you notice what that little bit of cornstarch did, it gave it some body. Now this is going to cool off. When it cools off and you refrigerate and you heat it up again, it'll be a little bit heavier. 3.5 hours and we're all done. Let's see how it looks on a plate. I'm going to add another teaspoon of salt to this. And what's really tasting good is the is the fat that's in there. So that's what she looks like. Now I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to have a drop of it right now.